All right, so for the past 2 years, things really haven't been going right for me. If you just take a look back to 2018, I was the #1 sales rep at Indeed, and I thought that I had really hit my lucky break. I thought that I would never have to experience what it was like to be poor again. I thought I was on my way to riches. I thought I had it all figured out, right? Wrong. So slowly after COVID hit, my life started spiraling, and it felt like nothing was going according to plan. And it led me to go down this path of thinking like, Glass, what was it that you did to get to the top of your field in football? What helped you get a D1 scholarship? What helped you become really good at that sport? What were the things that you did that helped you become successful at that? So I wrote down this list, of course, and on that list, I started writing things that I thought made me successful at football at the time. And I was scrolling those lists, and I saw that common theme on there. I saw monk mode, and then it was like a light bulb just went off. That was it. That was my epiphany moment. That was when I knew I had to do monk mode again to break through all these plateaus that I was experiencing in life. Now, like I said, I've done this before, and let me tell you, monk mode is not easy. And I really only use this as a last resort because monk mode can be extremely painful in one way or another. So there I was at a crossroads with two options in front of me. I could choose the pain of regret, or I could choose the pain of discipline. I guess we'd find out. So for those of you that don't watch this channel regularly, monk mode is basically just an increased time of focus, discipline, productivity, habits. It's really just a time that you are living with intent and you are committing to a specific goal. It's eliminating all, and yes, I do mean all, time-wasting activities so you can focus on a specific self-development goal. And if you want me to break that down a little further, I have a 5-minute video here that you guys should watch. Anyway, moving on. So this video is going to be shot in the past but aired in the future, and to be honest, I'm not really sure how that even works, but whatever, you get my point. I'm going to be doing monk mode for the next 30 days, and the reason is it's really just for me to break the hell out of these plateaus and give you guys a really close-up journey of what it looks like to do monk mode. Now, confession time. I have been doing everything in my power to avoid going back into monk mode. Now, the reason for that is because there are massive benefits, but there are some things that get really tough. For instance, I got really lonely last time I did monk mode. Like, I found out that I personally was starving for human interaction during monk mode. And even to an extent, focusing for that long and that hard for that period of time does start to produce diminishing returns. So there are some negatives to this. Also, I should note that everyone does monk mode a little bit differently. This is just how I chose to do it. So if you see some things you like, take them. If you see some things you don't, but essentially monk mode should be adjusted to your own goals. So the first thing I did was choose my approach. And the reason is there's varying degrees of difficulty when it comes to monk mode. Of course, me being the guy that I am, I had to choose the hardest version. And I guess the way I was thinking about that was the hardest journey will probably get me the best results. So that's what we'd have to see. Now, next was time to pick a goal. And let me let you guys know a little bit about me. I'm an ultra competitive person. I'm talking about if you just beat me in a game of air hockey. You don't know that secretly for the next 65 days, I'm going to spend an hour training on air hockey just so I can get my revenge on you. Yes, I know it's a little psycho, but whatever, moving on. But I decided this time around that attitude probably wasn't going to serve me, right? So this time around, I decided to focus on just 2 goals. Yes, laser focus on 2 goals. Goal number 1 was hit 100% of my quota at Yelp. And then goal number 2 was to start posting YouTube videos again. Step 3 was really the hard part because at this point I knew what I wanted to get or what I wanted to achieve, but now I had to list out all the things that were distracting me from getting to that and then eliminate them. So for me, that was no more porn, no more sex, no more girls, no more dating, no more social media, no more unhealthy living. It was just really all the things that I love doing. And I know what you're thinking. That sounds extreme. And that's because you're right. It really is extreme. It really is just, it's overboard. But I did wonder, would all that sacrifice, would it be worth it? I guess that's what we'll be finding out in this experiment. And then quickly, step 4 was just naming a few things that I would need to do on a daily basis and on a one-time basis that would systematically get me closer to my goals. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys all of them because really there's a lot, it's just not needed, but I will tell you guys the main ones. And the main ones were work out every day, call 10 people a day, email 10 people a day, work on my YouTube scripts, study thumbnails, and titles for my YouTube videos. Those were the 4 main things I wanted to do. So there it was. The plan was in place. All that was left for me to do was execute it. Now, I'll tell you what, the first few days were really exciting, and I think it was because I had really eliminated all the BS out of my life. But I did find myself really just sitting around, truthfully, with the thumb up my ass, really not knowing what to do, picking up my phone over and over again, checking to see if my social medias were there, even though I was the one that deleted them. Truthfully, it was maddening, but I got over it. And then slowly but surely, my mind started to figure out other ways to keep itself entertained. And it started to do that with different type of work or just heading me in the direction of my goal. Guys, you have no idea. There were so many times I pulled up to my desk. I looked around. It was just me in there, alone, lonely. There was no way in hell that I wanted to make those cold calls. No way in hell I wanted to write those emails. But I did it anyway. I think that was kind of the whole point of this monk mode thing, was to be more disciplined and do the things that I set out to do, even when I didn't feel like it. But guys, that didn't mean I was just doing all these activities out here blindly. As a matter of fact, I think tracking is a huge part of monk mode. So what I did was download a tracker app. And then once I started doing these habits and things every day, I could look back and see that, oh, okay, today I didn't get through all my habits. And you know, my overanalyzing self, I got to go deeper and figure out, okay, why was it that day that I didn't do all my habits? And I started to see where I was messing up, and I started to make some different adjustments. See, I learned that for me, I needed to wake up a little bit earlier. That way I could take care of my most important tasks in the morning when my energy was highest. I learned that for me to actually work out consistently, I probably need to go in the morning as well, because there are just so many excuses that can turn up when you got to go work out after work. So I made that quick adjustment. I learned that I needed to block off time so that I could stop anybody from distracting me, so that I could actually do my cold calls. Because in the past, if somebody pinged me or called me, I would answer just to avoid doing the cold calls. I also learned that I have a really hard time sticking to diets, and it's really because of one thing. I have an uncontrollable sweet tooth. I mean, literally, I will eat a bucket of ice cream like it's nothing. But I knew I had to change that. So I tried out some different things. I tested some different things, but I found that it was peaches. It was fruit for me. Fruit would kind of help me stop that sweet craving, but it definitely wasn't as unhealthy as ice cream. And that was the adjustment I made there. I learned that I really struggled and really had a hard time with telling people no. I learned that peer pressure really got to me. And it made me to understand that, like, man, if I don't, the reason I'm going out so much is because people keep asking me and I can't tell them no. So the way I fixed that was I decided when I was going into monk mode, I decided to let my close friends know, hey, I'm doing this. This is why I'm trying to do monk mode. If you could please lessen the invites, that would be great. Getting ahead of this is what helped me to adjust. It really took a toll on my happiness. I never realized how much social interaction really played a pivotal role in my life. As a matter of fact, I have been studying recently about how happiness tends to correlate with productivity. So that is a negative there. You got to watch for your happiness, because it can eventually kill your productivity. You miss out on so many life events. Like during those 30 days, guys, so much stuff would happen to me. Old hoes would have new boyfriends. Old hoes would be married now. I'd be like, damn, this happened in 30 days. You have friends that aren't friends no more. It's just a lot of stuff that happened in 30 days. You be missing people's birthdays, people's weddings. A lot of stuff happens in those 30 days, and it's hard to get back into real life and see that you missed those events and that time with your friends and family. Burnout and frustration are a real deal. For real. Because you don't have so much outside stimulation, you spend all your time and energy thinking about the attainment of that goal. But if you focus on the attainment of the goal and not the process, of course, you're going to get burnt out and frustrated, because you're looking every day at that goal and you're saying, damn, and it feels like, damn, I'm not getting closer to this when you actually are. So guys, I'm sitting here and I just had an epiphany, and I guess I kind of figured out what life is about. And it's really like, no matter what path you take, you're really only going to have one or two outcomes. Either pick the benefits, or you can choose to sacrifice. And I think it really all just boiled down to that. And I think for you guys, it's really going to be figuring out which one of those routes or paths is worth it to you at the time. But overall, guys, I feel that there were a lot more positives that came from this experiment than negatives. I learned what my distractions were and like how to deal with them. I learned how to actually write a plan down and then go through with it and execute it. I learned how to be disciplined, even when I didn't feel like it. And guys, I learned how to focus on just a few goals. That way I could like maximize my chances of success. Like I said, overall, there were way more positives from this experiment than anything else. And not to mention, during my monk mode, I did hit a few milestones. I lost 15 pounds. I am now pacing to hit 100% of my quota for Yelp at Q4. And y'all go ahead and zoom in real quick. If you remember, it does look like I'm starting to post YouTube videos a little bit more consistently. So I'm just saying, here's a pat on the back. But without further ado, it is time for me to keep it 100 with you. Would I recommend it? And the answer is yes. If you're looking to change your life, if you're looking to make big changes, if you're looking to make dramatic changes in your life, then I really don't know of a better self-improvement method that will work better for you than monk mode. But maybe you know something that I don't. So if you do, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think has helped you get to your goals. Was it life-changing? And my answer to that would also be yes, absolutely, because there's been several points in my life where I have chosen to focus on a few things and exclude everything else, and I mean everything else in my life, and it has produced some really good results. And it just so happens that massive results can manifest into things like 20K bonus checks, 50K bonus checks, $250,000 scholarships. Your results can manifest into actual money like that. And in this case, it produced me a pretty fat check, which is allowing me right now to live my life a lot more comfortably. So I would say it's life-changing for sure. Would I continue this as a daily practice? My answer to that is no. Unless I could do like a monk mode power hour or something like that, but I really don't even know if there's a benefit to doing something like that. Look here, guys, the point is this. Monk mode, I think, is great when it's used in strategic spots to get you to the next level in something. But also on the other token, life is not all about achieving your goals, right? It's not all about that. And to be honest, monk mode isn't really conducive to those other parts of your life that are important, like building relationships, having friends, things that you need to do. So I would not continue this as a daily practice forever. I don't think it's realistic. And not to mention, because a lot of the time you'll be alone, I think that will affect your happiness. And again, we talked about that happiness factor and it affecting your productivity. So doing monk mode too long, you can get diminishing returns. Just a side note there. But overall, in my opinion, it's best to do something like that in spurts. But anyway, guys, if you found value in this video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit the like, hit the sub, hit the bell, join the gang. And I'll see y'all in the next video. You know what it is. Your boy Glasses out. Peace.